Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday so far. It is Thursday, right? Andy had a snow day earlier this week, so my days are kind of jumbled up. I'm going to give everyone a couple seconds to hop on. Got a frog in my throat this morning. But I am super excited to chat about creating community and partnerships with and in our businesses. I have been in business for 10 years now, and one thing that I have learned is that entrepreneurship can be lonely if we choose for it to be lonely. And it doesn't have to be that way. I made some intentional choices in my business and my life along the way, and I'm so grateful that I did. And I just want to share some of that insight. So what I would love for you guys to share in the comment section is how long you've been in business, and if you feel like you have a strong community of entrepreneurs and friends that you can lean on, or if you're kind of a lone wolf right now. So for those of you tuning in, go ahead and drop me a comment. That also lets me know that some of this content is relevant for you, that we're on the right track. That helps me with creation mode next time around. All right, so I have about 6 or 7 different ideas. I have some notes that I'm going to be referencing when it comes to creating partnerships and community with and in our businesses. So what I mean by that is when we're creating partnerships and community with our business, we're using the business as a catalyst, and kind of what we do as a catalyst to create friendships, be in the entrepreneurial community of the place that we live in, around the world, that sort of thing. When we are creating community and partnerships in our business, that looks like the places like Facebook groups that we're creating to provide a community and a place for partnerships with our business. So first, these aren't really in any order. This was just kind of what I was brainstorming and what came to mind as I was prepping for this. One of the very first things that I did to create a community with my business was I found myself a business bestie. And that business bestie is Casey Hack. She is a fantastic photographer with Casey and Ben Photography. We actually met, sort of. We both went to UWGB for, we both have bachelor's in fine arts, but we weren't in any classes together or anything like that. I knew who she was, and we actually ended up auditing a class together after both of us had graduated. And she was the only face that I recognized remotely in the room besides the professor. And so I came over to her with my little notebook. I'm still imagining myself as a 12-year-old girl, even though I was probably 21 at this point. And just hey, can I sit by you? And of course she said yes. She's such a kind person. And that just started open conversations about, photography and what we do. And at some point I probably asked her to grab coffee or something like that and just chat. And that evolved into monthly meetings where we set goals, we ask each other questions about our business and businesses, I should say. And, some people might look at that as, why are you talking with somebody that's your competition? But she's absolutely not my competition. We are both wedding photographers. That is a huge part of our businesses. But what we offer and just simply who we are, they're two totally different people. And there is definitely a piece of the pie for everyone. So just setting that aside, that thought, I don't think that ever crossed either of our minds. And she has been so open with thoughts and ideas and mentoring me. I don't know, Casey, I'm not sure how many years this has been now. It's 2020 now. So I'd probably say, 6 years at least, maybe something like that. But she has been just such a blessing to have a business bestie, somebody that I can ask questions. I mean, the other day I was texting her about DBAs and trade names, and you think you might learn everything along the way when you're 10 years in, you don't. So having somebody that you can shamelessly text, message, ask any of those questions, just bounce ideas off of each other. And I think that's especially helpful if they are in your field, because then they have a really, really deep understanding about what you're doing and what you're asking. So that was one of probably the first ways that I started building a community or partnership with my business. Next, I would say some sort of networking group. It doesn't necessarily have to be a BNI or anything like that. I am a part of what's called the Rising Tide Society. and it's an international networking group for creative entrepreneurs. It's totally free. It's put on by wonderful, selfless people. The second Tuesday of every month, all the chapters around the world are meeting. And Green Bay, where I'm located, is actually one of the largest chapters. It was one of the original, I think, 12 chapters when the Rising Tide Society started about 5 years ago. I think this might be the 5th year. I'm not totally sure on that. But it is such a great resource because they are really focused on creating that community. The motto is community over competition, and with the underlying motto of a rising tide lifts all ships. And they're focused on providing business thoughts, ideas, suggestions. Each month there's a topic, and it varies from email marketing to SEO to client experience. And no question is a dumb question there. It brings together so many people across different fields and careers, and it's such an amazing community to be a part of. That was definitely the second step that I took in my business, and that really put me out there. It made me realize how many photographers are in the Green Bay and Northeast Wisconsin area, and how we don't have to compete with one another. We can simply be friends. We can support one another. There's plenty to go around, and just being able to interact with different people in different fields. That's how I found one of the makeup artists and the hairstylists that I work with a lot for sessions, Dana Michelle. Learning from other great photographers that have been established longer, like Shawnee Teskey. She was our leader for a long time. She is so well established, so well known, and just having people like that rallying around one another and supporting one another. It's a pretty freaking cool community to be a part of. And they have, an online Facebook group and that kind of thing. So I would highly recommend anybody tuning in, look up the Rising Tide Society, join just that general Facebook group, follow the page, and then their local chapters are called Tuesdays Together. And usually if you search either by your city, like Tuesdays Together Green Bay, or sometimes by region. I'm not sure if they're all strictly by city. Like it might be Tuesdays Together Northeast Wisconsin or Tuesdays Together Fox Valley or something like that. So checking that out, seeing if you can partner with people that way. We have people that drive down from the UP or UP, like Iron Mountain and that kind of thing, to be a part of these meetings because there's so much value. It is so friendly and so open. So that was the second thing that I did to create community or be a part of a community with my business. And that was huge for me. A couple other ideas would be, kind of along those lines. And what I did was exploring ways to collaborate. So once I was in the Rising Tide Society, at some point in there, I knew that for my business, I would want to have a hairstylist and makeup artist that I partnered with for my sessions. And so I work with Dana Michelle a lot, and I met her through the Rising Tide Society. I work with Makeup by Claudia. We actually met through mutual friends. But any ways that you can collaborate in your business and just support another person that's, maybe they're in your same field, maybe they're outside your same field. Obviously hair and makeup and photography, those work hand in hand, but they're not the same industry. But I'm able to support these women and, hey Casey, support these women and, bring some extra income their way. And then they're able to talk about what it's like working with me because they see me interacting with clients and they see the photos afterwards. And it's just a genuine collaboration without really expectation besides, hey, make my clients look as amazing as they feel on the inside. And beyond that, if they talk about it and if they're able to, give referrals, whatever they may feel so called to do, whatever collaboration looks like, I invite you to explore those ways. Next, a couple other ideas of how to find communities and be a part of a community would be exploring if there's a co-working space in the city that you live in. We have a couple different co-working spaces in Green Bay. My absolute favorite is The Nest. 4 of my dear friends own and operate The Nest, and it was born from an idea of 2 of my dear friends and 2 of my bridesmaids, Jess Hop and Alex Vandahai. So they have a female-forward co-working space, and they are really, really focused on providing a safe, welcoming, warm, educating space for women in the Green Bay area and beyond, and hosting events that really invite people in, makes them think about things in a different way, or just introduces them to something they maybe haven't tried before, or maybe it's just something that many people enjoy, like today they're doing a yoga event, things like that. So having a co-working space where you can meet with other like-minded individuals, other entrepreneurs, that could be a great way to find community. Or perhaps you work with a coach of some sort. I work with Kayla Jetta as my business and life coach, and it's been about 2.5 years now, I think, and she's become a dear friend. She knows the ins and outs of my life and my business, and because of working with her, she has a huge community and a huge following. She's partnered with her mom now as her business partner, so just those communities coming together, it's continually expanding. We get to talk with all the people in the group, we support one another, and you hear about, you know, what everyone is going through, what they do for work, and just being able to see like, oh, you know what, I could probably really use the service that this person offers, or I just kind of want to collaborate with them, or heck, I just want to talk to them, and maybe I'll find my business bestie there. That has been another huge way that I have expanded my community, created some partnerships, and it's been worth every single investment beyond just like the work that gets done on my inner self and my mind and my business. Just that community aspect has been so well worth the investment. Another great way to make connections would be connecting with people on social media. Maybe you, I know like Jenna Kutcher has the Goal Digger podcast. Maybe you just put a post in there and say, hey, who else is located in whatever area you're located in, and have people commenting, and then friend them, start conversations, maybe you grab coffee. Who knows what that could lead to, but at least you're putting the conversations out there, you're putting yourself out there, and it's just good energy, and good energy always comes back. I have reached out to so many people, either with the intention of just, hey, I want to get to know you, or hey, I think I might be able to help you with what I do. And I have never had somebody like yell at me and be like, how dare you reach out to me? What were you thinking? That was stupid. That's kind of what our critter brain and that voice inside our head is telling us that people are going to say. They don't. If they aren't interested, they'll probably just say something like, you know, no thanks, have a great day. And that's okay. That's nothing on you. You didn't lose any part of your life by doing that. And what if they said yes? And what if that leads to something awesome? I did that, something very similar to that. I actually hand wrote a letter to a wedding venue in the area. This was multiple years ago. It's a very, very sought after venue, very high end. And I just said, hey, I would love to chat and see if I could be on your preferred vendor list. And they said, absolutely. Why don't you come down, grab lunch with us? We'll hear what you're about, and we'll tell you about us. And I was on their vendor list. I still am. So you never know what's going to happen just from those little reach outs. They can be something pretty huge. Another one, I've been doing this all through the video, but I genuinely believe it, is just giving genuine shout outs or celebrations or encouragement to people that you love what they're doing and you just want to support them. Just having that heartfelt, really soul-centered of like, this person's awesome. You should know about them. I don't get anything by telling you about them. I just want you to know. There is such good karma around that, and somebody is going to probably sit there and be like, wow, like that was pretty cool that they did that. And I'm not saying that because I'm thinking that all of my friends that I've peppered in here are thinking that, but they know that I genuinely love them. I love what they do. I think that the world deserves to know about them. And I just love people meeting people. So when you're able to share about an experience that you've had with somebody, or, you know, put a post on social media of, hey, did you see what my friend so-and-so is making? Check it out. That's just a really simple way that you can support that person. You can increase their community and maybe drive some revenue their way. And it's such a simple, simple thing that we get to do. Maybe takes 30 seconds. So any way that you can give someone a genuine shout out, truly without expecting anything back, just because you support them or celebrate them, say like, hey, my friend just did this. I'm so excited. Maybe it's a little Instagram story boomerang, high-fiving or something, whatever it might be. Just make sure that it comes from the heart and that you genuinely mean it, because then that's really, really great energy that you're putting out and people feel that. Then as far as creating community and partnerships in your business, this is a little bit smaller segment. Things like starting a Facebook group. Jess Hopp of the Planner Collective, also one of the owners of The Nest, is the queen of Facebook groups and really creating, growing, and engaging Facebook groups. I'm pretty sure she actually has a group called Engage and Grow, but I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not even going to try and plant it here. But creating a Facebook group for your business. I have one with Clem & Co. It's called Building a Bold Brand, and that's all about creating a badass online presence and just really being seen and being heard. And in that group, I'm just sharing tidbits, I'm asking questions, we're starting conversation, and a lot of the people in there are friends that I've made along the way in the industry. They are current or past clients, and hopefully potentially new clients will be in there too. But it's a space where I just get to freely be myself, share great content, just really hone in on what my zone of genius is, share my best stuff freely, and just not being afraid that if I share this, it won't come back to me, or if I share this, somebody won't work with me. That's absolutely not the case. When we put ourselves out there and we just give and give and give from the heart, people are drawn to that and they want to work with that, and we just get to be so selfless and vulnerable and authentic and just trust that that is the way. And when people see that, they're going to recognize that, and they're going to want to be around you. They're going to want to be a part of your community, and they're going to look forward to your posts. You know, Casey has a really great group, which Casey, I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher the name of your group. So if you want to drop it in the comments, feel free. But she posts a ton of engaging content, just asking questions, talking about like parenthood, life, being an entrepreneur and a mom, and that's a whole other section of her life that she's exploring as well. So just having that community that you start within your business, you know, even, you know, on a separate note, something like an email list, that can be a really great way to send out a monthly newsletter, any updates on your life and your business, and starting conversations that way. Some people, like Jenna Kutcher, would even recommend that that's the way to go, because your email list, you own that. Social media, they could shut the doors at any time, unfortunately. But that gives us a really direct conversation line with the people that have intentionally said, yes, I want to hear more about you. I've signed up for your list. And serving that group, having open conversations with them, giving them really great tidbits, that can be another really great way to create that community in your business that's going to rally around you. They're going to be the people that are shouting your names from the rooftops because they love what you do. They've said yes, that they want to hear more from you. And that's probably where your next clients are going to come from, is one of those communities that you've created, whether that's your email list, your Facebook group. An abrupt end there. I was trying to think if I had another thought, but I think those are all the ways that I can currently think of as far as building community and partnerships in your business and with your business. Go ahead and drop me a comment on either one of the ways that you already do this, that you've seen a ton of success, one of the ways that you want to explore, or if there's something else that I didn't mention that you think is a golden way to build community with and in your business. One thing that I do know is, like I said, entrepreneurship can be lonely. It can feel like we're doing this all by ourselves, especially when we're in our office and our only companions are maybe cat on the chair behind you. We've got a laptop in front of us. So just starting those conversations and creating a warm and inviting and welcoming presence and space, that can really do a lot for our business. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm going to pop over to my other two business channels if you want to see my face for about an hour straight. I'm going to be on at 10:30 on Clem Studios with 9 questions to ask your wedding photographer. But in the meantime, if there's anything that I can serve you with, please feel free to let me know. Any questions or comments to my direct email is kate@clemenco.com. I'll see you guys soon.